another episode of the Blushing Rose. In this video, we are going to make Christmas DIY. So we're going to DIY some Christmas gifts, personalize a couple of the ideas, tailored to the person based on their likes and dislikes. So we're going to work over the course of this video on 3 or 4 projects. I don't remember, I don't have my paper in front of me. I think it'll be a fun way for you guys to get together if the family want to do it, or even if like a girls' night out and you guys want to do the gifts together and then go and give them out at the Christmas parties. That would be good. That's a good idea. List all the materials that you need on the screen, or I'll do like a little at the end, the materials that you'll need. A lot of things I already have, so I really didn't have to go out and buy anything to do these items with. And most of you guys probably have some of this stuff in your house too. You may not have 1 or 2 items, just like I didn't have something, so you know, you may have to go out and get something. But I will tell you where to go if I had to go out, or if you don't have something, I'll give you possible scenarios where you can go and get the items. So thank you and stick around. See you guys soon. First project, we're going to make a microwavable heat pack. And so right here, I'm just showing you guys my fabric, and I am making several heat packs at one time, and I almost forget that I'm filming a video. So I know you guys will see me cutting 2 or 3 different heat packs, but or pieces of fabric for the heat pack. But if you're going to do just one, you could just do just that one, or you can do, you know, multiple. But I was already cutting, so I just wanted to go ahead and cut and sew while I was in the mood to actually do it. So I have the fabric already, and I decided not to use a plain fabric because I sell these bags at the market, and I didn't want to just make something I wasn't going to use. So of course I couldn't personalize that particular thing. But right here, I'm showing you my measurements. I cut based on how I want. I do a small and a large bag. My area, you know, I just cut based on what I want. So I would say the same, maybe a 6x9 bag, or I used a calendar, like the 1-year calendar that you get from like the Dollar Tree to measure my small bags. And I think it was about 3x5. And that's a really good size for like the shoulder area. But like I said, you guys decide what you want to do with your bag. But right here, you'll see me measure. And I'll measure a couple times because I want to get the bags as close as possible to the same size. So I'll measure a couple times. I'll move the pins around, and then you'll see me cut. Now I have scissors, I have pinking shears, and then I have a rotary blade, which I end up using my rotary blade. But I pull those items out because, again, I want to reiterate that these are things that you can make using what you have at home. So your kitchen shears or your crafting scissors, you know, it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. You don't have to run out and get anything special for this unless you want to. So for this project, I did not go and get anything special. I would say the cost to me was 0 because I already had everything at home. But I would say for you guys, maybe like very cost efficient, less than $5. right here I am showing my selection of scissors that I have available, and just letting you know, guys, that I will be cutting based on how I pinned it. And it's quite simple. Just pin how you want and cut how you want to the size that you want. And right there I'm just using a basic measuring, like a basic ruler. And so I'm just gonna get started, but then I switch over because I like using my rotary blade. That's just me. I cannot cut in a straight line, so I need all the help that I can get. I will cut my first cut using the pinking shears, but then it's like, okay, I don't want the lines to be crooked, and so I'll use my rotary blade. But hey, cut with what you need, or you just do what works for you. So guys, you'll see me lay my cut piece of fabric on the next cutting section. I just want to triple check that my measurements are coming close to what I need them. So you'll see me just dropping the next piece of fabric on top of the other piece that I'm gonna cut, get my lines correct, and go on. I do have the pin there, I have the ruler there, but like I said, I can't cut straight, so I just continue to check myself. So we are at the next station, and what we're going to do now, we are going to press these out, and then we're going to pin both sides. We're going to pin this side, and we're going to pin this side, and then once we get them pressed and pinned, we'll go over to the sewing machine, and then we'll sew these, and I'll show you how I sew them. And then after that, we'll fill a couple bags. But if you don't have a press, you can use an iron. Irons work just fine. So I'm pinning the bag closed. I have it pressed out. I am putting about 3 or 4 pins on each side, and then I'll put some across the top. But remember, guys, you need to leave a little small opening so you can turn the bag inside out, back right side out. I am showing you guys the pattern that I plan to sew the bags. Like, I like to have an idea of how I'm gonna sew the bags closed, so I don't just start sewing and lose track of what I'm doing. And again, remember, leave a little space so you can turn the bag back right side out. So you'll see I'll start with one little corner, and I'll sew down the length of the bag, and I'll leave the little space at the top because it'll be really easy to close top wise versus side wise. So I sew down the length, then I leave a little space, and then I take the needle thread out, and sew down to the other side, back down the length. guys, so we have the pouch sewn up, and what we're going to do now is we're going to turn it inside out. So if you leave the hole a little bigger, that's just how much you will have to sew at the end. Some of them I close really tiny and just have to pull, pull it inside out. So I left it bigger so we can see how to pull it inside out. So I like to go all the way to push my finger all the way to the corner, bring that corner out, and pull that corner out, and then you'll pop the bag out. And just push your corners back in. Push all these corners back in. You can do this with the pencil or utensil. I just push it with my finger because I don't want to risk tearing a hole in it. And then we got our rice, our measuring cup, and like I said, most of the supplies you probably already have at home. And we're going to fill the bag. Filled up, and what we would do next is needle and thread. I'm not sure if you can see the thread here. I just pulled the thread that I was already using off the spool, so the thread. And what I'll do now is I'll close my little bag up. That way if it fall over, I don't have to start picking up rice everywhere. And that's just regular rice. So if you have rice at home and you plan on doing one bag, you can just do that, or you can go buy a $1 bag of rice. It doesn't have to be anything special. So this is our bag, and I just have I have this fabric on hand, but if you have something plain, you could use that, and you could do, a design on it. But I already have this, and this is what I like, so this is what I use. And now you just use a needle, because I want to show you guys that this project can be done hand only. Yes, I have a sewing machine, but if you wanted to create something for somebody without a sewing machine, they didn't have a sewing machine back in the day, you don't have to use a sewing machine. You just have to know how to do something. If not, that's fine. Right here, I am double knotting the end of the thread, and I say double knot because I'm going to tie it in one knot, and then I'll tie it in another knot again just to make the knot a little bit bigger. When I start closing the bag up, I don't want the knot to slip through the fabric, but I don't think I'll have that problem with fabric. Not this particular fabric, but some fabrics, are really has a space in it, but this one I think is fine. All right, so guys, once you have your knot and your bag on your thread, you want to go ahead and start closing your little space up. And what I'm showing you here is I am just doing the loop over method. I go through one side, come out the other side, and loop it back around, and I'll do that until I get to the little space. Close it up, I'll cut it, and then I'll tie it off, and I'll probably double tie it also. But like I said, if you can't sew, this is like the most basic method of doing, the loop around method. And you could actually do the entire bag with this method if you wanted to make it and not have a sewing machine. right, so I am done with this microwavable heat pack, and now we're gonna move on to the next DIY present. And this is gonna be a pillow, and we're gonna stencil the pillow, and we're making a pillow out of a sweater that I purchased, I guess, about 2 months ago from the thrift store. And so we're reusing or upcycling the sweater into a pillow. Right here, guys, I am about to tape down the stencil, but I'm showing you right in the corner that there was a hole in the underarm of the sweater. After I wore it one time, I noticed it. I'm not sure if it was there before, but I did pick it up from the thrift store, so it's not a big deal. So I decided to turn it into something cute because I really like the sweater, and that's why we're doing a pillow with it. I decided just to do the one stencil of the angel on the front of the pillow. And also, I'm going to pull it up so I can spray some adhesive on the back of the stencil. I wanted to get a tight grip on the sweater. The process of dapping the paint on the sweater, you don't want the paint to bleed onto the areas that it shouldn't be on. You just want the stencil part to cover. But if you don't have a good seal on it and you put too much paint on it, it'll bleed over, and I didn't want that to happen. So I just wanted to get everything right on the first go around. So that's why I did spray adhesive on it. So that process of me fanning it, I was just letting the spray get a little tacky. And you see, I'm going to measure it right here, and then I'll show you guys that I'll cut it right underneath the part where there's a hole. So I'll cut it right under there, and then I'll place my stencil where I want it and just reposition everything back with the tape on it still and the adhesive on the back of it, and it'll give it a really good seal. So that's what I'm doing right now. Right here, guys, I'm just using a basic acrylic paint. You can pick these up from Walmart or yard sales. Again, like I said, some of the supplies I already have, but the materials that were needed for this project: paint, tape, stencil, the sweater, the polyfill, and you don't need the spray adhesive, but if you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. I don't always use spray adhesive. I use it because it's handy. And needle and thread. So that's it. I would say the cost for me, again, I'm going to say zero. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm going to say zero because I already have everything. But if we want to be, I guess we could say $4 for the sweater, because I did buy the sweater to wear, and I wore it twice, and I'm turning it into a pillow. But if we want to give a price point, I'll say $4. So you can make this sweater gift, pillow gift, less than $10. right, so we're all done with the painting, and now it's time to pin my areas closed. And remember, you're gonna leave a little space so you can turn the pillow back right side out, and then you're going to stuff the pillow. So we're gonna flip it inside out, we'll sew it, and then we'll leave a little space. And that little space, you'll pull it back out through that space, just like I showed you with the bag, and then you'll stuff the pillow, and then we'll close it. So I don't show the closing part because we already saw the closing part with the bag, and it's still the same process. But I am going to show you, I'm going to change the thread on the machine, and I also will show you a little bit of the stuffing. But you just stuff it to your liking, really. You don't really have to overfill it. It just depends on how soft you want it out, or if it's just a decorative pillow, you just probably want it really soft. It just all depends. But right here, that's where I'm going to leave my opening, because if I don't leave an opening, I will sew it all the way closed. And I'm showing you that I'm going to do one continuous sew. So I'll sew from one part all the way around to the other part. Right here, I'm changing the bobbin thread, and I'm pointing that the bobbin is really easy. You drop it in and follow the instructions on a little machine, how to just swirl it around. It's just like one motion, and then I'll thread the machine.
Gotta stay classy, even when the fuck gets a little crazy. Yeah, I'm I'ma be mellow, free flowing like a beach jello. The one who drum my back, coming like Othello. Tryna stay above, watch it from the stars, Apollo. Get the bed on my system, just wanna let you know I can be soft on the outside, cause I'd rather not have to start fights. But don't be testing my inner patience, you don't wanna cross that line.
Oh, don't try to tie me, don't try to fight me, you better run. What you gonna do, what you gonna do,
What you gonna do, what you gonna do?
la 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 la. 오늘 숨겨놔 잠깐 널 위한 게 아니야.
눈빛이 변한 순간 멈출 순 없어. If you wanna dare, just be aware.
Stay inside your mind, stay inside your gut.
Yeah, better be careful with what you're wishing for. Little fighter, it ain't wise to be messing with a sleeping tiger.
Are you are still smiling?
Only cause I let you. Don't be testing my inner.
Now it's time for the good part. So we're turning the sweater back to the right side, and we're going to stuff it with the polyfill. Just put however much you like, whatever softness or thickness that you want. And remember to push your corners out, push each corner out, and then stuff just how you like it. And so right here, guys, I'm showing you this little space right there is where you can put a name, a year. It could be like Christmas 2022 or first Christmas, you know, whatever, however you're going to do it. But I left mine blank because I don't think I'm going to gift it. I think I'm going to keep it because I like the sweater. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, we're going to stuff it, and then I'll sew it off screen because it's just that little space. And like I said, we saw how to sew the bag closed earlier, the microwavable pouch, and it's still the same thing with this pillow. We're going to close it the exact same way, and then I'll show you guys what we did at the end. So we're going to close this video out, and then I'll come back with 2 more DIY Christmas gifts. But I would like to thank you for hanging with me, and remember to leave your comments, subscribe, and hit that like button. See you in the next video. Thank you.